obviously we've had a couple of releases pop out over the last week. We ended up with Star Wars Jedi Survivor. We ended up with Redfall. We've had interesting occurrences with both in regards to performance, different issues and stuff. Obviously, we thought we were going to get Redfall at 60 frames per second, and then we got just a few weeks back that we were only going to have 30, which hurts, especially because it seems like it drops under that on a regular basis. But yeah, I guess the biggest thing that I want with this, and in regards to the question, so obviously Jedi Survivor has updated faster. It's feeling better. But in a current climate that we're in, right, Luke? We've got games that come out and seem just fine, but then we've got so many where it feels like it's just a broken mess in regards to the launch. Are you planning on sticking with like a day one, no matter what type of cadence? Or with some of the stuff that we've seen over the last few years, is this going to convince you to maybe go to more of a wait and see approach on some of these games as they come out, just where we see these coming out in, very unfinished nature?
Yeah. I think I don't think I'm the right person to ask, because as a content creator, it behooves me to have hands-on. I'm often very fortunate to get codes early, and so like Redfall we would have all gotten that in Game Pass. And Game Pass is a great equalizer here, which I don't think helps Redfall's case or Xbox's case, but it is an equalizer here in that you get a lot of really great product in Game Pass, and so when you get a dud, it doesn't hurt, right? It's like, oh, I'm getting all this other, and this is just not added to the pile of goodness. But for me, waiting is not necessarily something that lends itself for me. If it's a game I want, I'm probably going to go get it. But there is no doubting, there is no arguing against the idea that if you wait, you're going to play a better version, you're going to play a more polished version, and you're going to get it cheaper. You'll probably get more bang for your buck all around. Without a doubt, no matter where you are, if you're an early adopter of anything, you are paying more. With the exception of some countries where they bought a PlayStation at launch versus if you waited, because they raised the price, which did zero damage to their profit margin. And so I think some people forget that. They're like, oh, it's so unfair. It worked, and everyone's still doing it. So I think in my case, waiting doesn't make sense, but in the majority of people's cases, you should wait. And if I may speak to Jedi Survivor for just a moment, this 1.2 patch, I believe it is, fantastic. It came out on Star Wars week. Why didn't they delay it a week and let the game come out in Star Wars week? It makes no sense. Yeah. Like, if it's an argument of, oh, we needed people, we need the data from it, you beta that bad boy, you give it to content creators early.
Imagine it dropped tomorrow. Man.
Oh my gosh. If it dropped even this weekend, it was like, hey, if they timed some Star Wars stuff out, where it was like, okay, here's Jedi Survivor this week, Young Jedi, which is on Disney Plus on tomorrow, rewatch of this movie. They could have done like event things for Star Wars week, because it's just a perfect week for it. Yeah. And it's really just surprising to me that they didn't delay it a week when they have this great patch out now.
Maybe they were afraid of Redfall.
If they were afraid of Redfall, then their internal barometer is way off, because anybody that didn't see the warning signs was missing it. Because I was so excited for Redfall, but it was very clear from the lack of gameplay that was shown, from the very, very lackluster marketing from both Bethesda, who handles marketing for their own games, by the way, and distribution of codes and coverage.
Yeah. I think the one thing on that is, like, most people don't get codes, and there was a lot of hype for Redfall, and like there's content creators putting out like clips that we didn't realize that were sent to the content creators from Arcane,
which blew on that content creator. Any content creator that was showing you that didn't tell their audience is irresponsible. And I am well aware that I am small in that realm, and there are much bigger people that could flick me away like a fly. But it's disrespectful to their audience if they did that and did not state that it was given to them. If they pawned it off on their own. If they're rolling B-roll in the background and they're not really talking about it, that's different. But if they're saying, "Oh yeah, here's gameplay," and they're not noting that it's not theirs, that's
that gameplay that that Arcane created was fantastic. Like, looked great,
Yeah.
right?
And the IGN coverage where that was very poorly played, that was really disingenuous and frustrating because whoever was playing there genuinely wasn't playing very well. And I stand by that criticism. And then if you play Redfall, you can understand where some of that was coming from. For example, the
Yeah.
weapon changes and whatnot. It's very frustrating to change weapons and cycle your weapons in Redfall.
Yeah.
But like, curate your distribution, curate what's going on a little bit, or let everybody go. But the way they were handling it, I thought was very poor.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
You,
No, that was definitely. I agree with you fully. Like the fact that we saw a bunch of people out there like showing it off and stuff. It's like you said, like be completely genuine and honest about what you're putting out there. If there's and I know this isn't going to go well for some folks out there, I'm sure, because some people just want access to their codes. They want to continue their access with codes and stuff. But if someone gives you a specific NDA in regards to those restrictions and it doesn't align with your moral stance on like what content you're going to bring out, you need to sit back for a second and think, is this really worth me doing? Because like if you put it out there and it's not a sincere thing, it's not factual to what the actual product is, and then you have to backstep and you have to kind of like patch up afterwards, that's not good for you. Like that's more hard work you have to deal with because now you've got to backtrack and potentially you're angering your subscribers because you're not being sincere and honest with them in those scenarios. And I agree. Is like, and maybe that's probably one of the reasons why I won't end up getting codes as time goes on. Moving forward is just like I'm going to be a lot more blunt with those type of things. And if there's something in an NDA that I don't agree with and I'm not willing to use like their canned footage versus my own or something, I'm probably going to turn it down. Like it would be a cool opportunity and it does open doors to get your foot in the door for testing. But if it's a situation where it smells kind of fishy and it doesn't pass the smell test, sometimes it's okay to just be like, no, you know what? I think I'm okay. Thank you for the offer, but I have to pass.
yeah.
It's absolutely not worth it. I mean, with Redfall, they flew people out there, so they were, it's exciting, right? You get offered that. Like it's hard to say no, but the fact, I when the footage came out from a bunch of people, I was thinking this was the game. I was like, oh man, this is really good. I was excited for it. Maybe I didn't listen to the disclosures or anything, but it definitely tricked a lot of people in thinking that it looked better than it was. And then you had the IGN stuff come out, and although the person playing the game wasn't making it look good, I think people were confused because the game IGN was showing off was vastly different than the marketing videos we saw just like the week before or whatever. So everyone was jumping on IGN, but realistically, IGN wasn't really at fault there. They were showing off what was the final product that we all got now.
Yeah, it's kind of funny. We honestly thought that they were the bad guy in this situation until we saw the actual release version of the game. And then suddenly the picture is a little more clear. Like obviously they didn't do it any service by any means with the gameplay that they did, but at the same time, once you saw the actual release, it made more sense. The picture became more clear as to what they were actually working with as well. Crazy. You have a smirk on your face, so I want to see what you had to say because I think I cut you off a minute ago.
Well, I'm going to tell you something about this whole weight game thing, and I mean, it's the truth. Right now, at this position, we have to wait. I mean, we can't go out there right now and say, okay, here's my $70, or here's my $100, or here is anything. Because I'm going to tell you something. I'm a big fan of Star Wars too. I mean, I was waiting for that Jedi Survivor. I was waiting for that game like crazy. And then I sat down and I watched a video from Xbox Era, and they were saying, "Hey, we were having a little bit of performance issues in the game on the Xbox, and then and then I heard that like the PC's got a little bit of performance issues." Like, oh my god, here we go again. So I said, okay, I'm not gonna buy it right now. I'm just gonna wait for them to put patches in to make it better. Once all those patches are in, yes, I will buy it. I had issues with Dying Light 2. I remember I bought Dying Light 2 day one. I'm a big fan of Dying Light 2. When I put that game on, I was like, huh? What is this? I mean, it looked horrible. That game looked horrible. Redfall. Man, oh man, let's talk a little bit about Redfall. Oh man, I'm gonna tell you something. I'm 30. I'm 7 hours into the game. I am actually enjoying it. I'm loving it. I mean, I'm telling you, it's not boring. It's not like it's a pretty entertaining game. I mean, I wasn't expecting like for it to be like a 9 or an 8.5 or something like that. I mean, for me, this game is close to like between a it's got it's between a 7 or an 8. I haven't seen like I was telling you guys before. I have to wait to see if I can get it to 8 because I have not had a boss fight. I don't know how the boss fights are, the main bosses, but everything I do on the map and everything everywhere I go and all that stuff, I'm having fun. People are saying, "Oh, the AI is bad," right? They're talking about the cultist, and
Cultists are bad.
Yeah.
The
the cult.
vampires aren't terrible. The AI
Oh
and the
no,
vampires are actually not bad, but the
oh
cultists are bad.
oh man,
think
and
they're
there's
all
this
bad.
one. The
Or they
cultists,
all-
no, they're purposely, and then when I keep on moving around, I see a soldier. I notice why the cultists are bad. I mean, the cultists are just a bunch of people who are crazy fanatics. They grab guns and they try to shoot you. They hit you. Sometimes they don't. But if you get to a soldier, which I have actually met in the game, the soldiers he literally shoots the hell out of you. I mean, if he sees you, he's going after you.
Spoilers, Lou. Spoilers.
That's not that's
yeah.
that's it's not a spoiler. I'm talking about just
What do you mean it's not a spoiler? You're
that's
saying something
NPCs. There's
that
nothing
it
big. I'm
doesn't
talking
matter. It's a spoiler.
Crazy, crazy.
how's that a spoiler?
I
Oh
like
my god.
how you're excusing the AI of those soldiers
Oh, but
and
I'm
making it sound like
no
it's a
because
positive.
no, I'm just no
I
because
like
I'm
it.
gonna tell you something. I mean, I've seen like for example the guys instead of walking down the stairs, I see
How
um
they float?
how they
Yes,
flow. I seen them.
yes.
Yes, I
Future
seen.
man. They're on
Yeah,
hoverboards.
yeah, hoverboards.
Lou,
I see
stop
the
the cap.
The AI is bad. It's
The
yeah.
just
AI
bad.
is bad.
You
You know
shoot at
what?
one person, they run straight at you. I know there's a lot of clips where you just turn left,
Yeah.
and like the awkward and frustrating part is some of those clips aren't really embellished. Like they're not
No.
one-off experiences. They're not like little bugs. Like I do not enjoy when we see people clip something and make that one clip that they caught off guard seem as
Yep.
though it's the whole game.
Yeah.
But in the
Yeah.
unfortunate case of Redfall, a lot of the AI is pretty lackluster, and it reminded me, and I hate that. I think I'm quoting. I want to say it's Skill Up. So this is not my words initially, but he equated it to Aliens, Colonial Marines. I don't think it was Skill Up, but it was somebody. It reminds me of the old Aliens, Colonial Marines. And in that game, there was a bug in the code, a typo, and once it was found and fixed, like 10 years later, suddenly the AI worked. And it
Yeah.
feels like that's what's going on here because it just
Um,
seems so surprising that it would be so basic.
Yeah.
Yes.
I will I think the game will be patched, but I will somewhat agree with Louis on one thing here is that objectively the game is bad. Like there's a lot of bugs. Technically, it's unacceptable that they released it in the state that it's in. But subjectively, I believe people when they are saying they're having fun. I've played about 7, 8 hours into it. I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna finish off these missions. There is fun to be had, and I'm just like I looked over here right now. My wife is actually currently playing Redfall, and she's just like somebody who just plays random games and is not really following the industry, and she's been having fun with it. So I think there is subjective fun. I don't understand why people are saying that there can't be any fun with this game. That doesn't make any sense.
Oh, that's an
So
exaggeration.
yeah. So I
yeah.
think there is fun to be had. And once they patch it, once they do patch it, and if they patch it, who knows if they're going to abandon it or whatever, right? I think that like there's potential for this game, and hopefully it's not so broken internally that they can't actually provide a much better experience like a couple months down the road. That's my hope for it.
I mean,
Yeah.
I wanted to get fixed, but again, like if it, like I always said this before, if it was a top performance game, and everything was looking good and everything was looking fine, I mean, for me, tops, if I had to like to give it a score for me to right now, will be an 8. If it was top performance, everything good, with no issues like how everybody's saying. But either way, though, I'm enjoying the story. It's a lot of fun. I mean, I like how the story plays. It's simple. You get right into action, and you go out there, you shoot the living crap out of everything, run around through houses. It's really fun. It's really fun. I mean, I am enjoying it. I mean, if it was a bad game, a boring game, I would literally right here say, "Hey, man, that game sucks. Don't play it." But people are trying to make it like feel like it's really that much of a really broken game, like you just can't play it. Kind of like what me and Sourblow kind of experienced with Battlefield when you saw the Wonder Woman's plane running around with two guys, and in Battlefield 2042. No, that was broken. That was literally a broken game. This one, it's got a lot of bugs. Broken? I haven't seen nothing
It's
break yet. But
it's
yeah.
just I think like objectively like it's not acceptable. Xbox released it in the state. That's the
Yeah,
biggest thing people are pissed off about.
they shouldn't have done that. And like I said, these games right now, because we mentioned a couple of mini games. Jedi Survivor came out, and I'm gonna say something though. I saw that game, I fell in love because hey, I played Fallen Order, one of my favorite games, and I was like, man, I gotta go buy this. But once I heard performance issues, I said, okay, I'm not gonna spend this money right now. Same thing happened with me with Horizon Forbidden West. I bought it day one. And once I heard save issues, I said, nope, I am not playing this. Same thing with Cyberpunk. Heard save issues, I'm not playing this. Outriders, save issues, that for me is like the worst broken thing out there. I mean, the game can look beautifully nice and neat with graphics, but if the saves are broken, I'm not playing that game until they fix that. That's for me is the top of the line of things. But yes, all of these games have released. 90% of them have come out with issues. Really, these guys need to sit down and figure out something to release games in better quality and with lesser bugs and with lesser performance issues.
Louis said that he would recommend Redfall. Do you guys also feel that way?
Oh no, I wouldn't. I would absolutely like. I would never in a million years tell somebody to spend a dime on this game. But I would say if it's hey, you're subscribed to Game Pass, download it and try it for yourself if you're interested. I'm not going to say don't do that, but absolutely, I would not tell anybody to spend $70. That's absurd. Like the fact that this is their first AAA $70 game, that also makes it way worse than if it was just like a $30 or $40 game. Like it's just crazy that they release this at $70.
Exactly.
So,
I mean, if I like play the game right now, playing the game, and somebody asks me, "Hey, can I buy it? Is it good?" I would just strictly say, "No, no, no. Wait till price lowers and wait till they patch things up." So I did the same thing for Cyberpunk. Cyberpunk came out, and man, I'm gonna say something. For me, it's one of the best games I played in a long time. But guess what? I waited till that. When was the big patch they put in? Was it like a couple months ago?
That was
Yeah.
not
Like a year
well,
later, or 2 years
six
later,
to
I think
eight
it
months
was.
Well,
ago, I think.
they done a few patch.
Yeah.
But they
But
put like the
quite a
best.
few.
They put like the best patch out there. I think it was like 6 months ago, something like that. And after that patch came out, that was when I bought the game. Once the game was fixed, because with CD Projekt Red, I had a problem with Witcher 3. I was mentioning it in a save problem. I lost 30 hours of gameplay, and I said, nope, I'm not going through this again. So I said, let me wait.
So I want to touch on Redfall real quick, but before I jump into that, Luke, I got to give you props because I wasn't even thinking about it until you mentioned it earlier. Man, Star Wars really missed an opportunity not releasing during Star Wars Week.
Right?
Like,
Yeah.
why wouldn't you do that on May the 4th? Sorry, when you said that, I was like, yes, thank you. Like that, it makes so much sense
So
because like everyone drops into that fandom, right? Like as soon as I saw Star Wars stuff pop off, I was on Lego's website yesterday buying a bunch of Lego sets because it's freaking May the 4th and you get Star Wars stuff. Like as soon as people see Star Wars stuff during that time, they go nuts. That was a missed opportunity.
so
I agree with you.
If you think about it, Silent, it's also a missed opportunity for Arcane not to delay Redfall to like October. You could have probably marketed for Halloween.
Yes.
I was having this conversation on Cast Co-op the other night with Ainsley Bowden and Joseph Moran, ugly kid, by the way. It would have cost Xbox nothing to delay Redfall. Nothing.
Yeah.
They wouldn't have gotten any worse than they would have been after 2022 with no big releases. If anything, they've damaged their reputation by allowing this to go out. And I recognize that Bethesda is more to blame for this, but no, when you purchase a company for $7 billion, you inherit the good and the bad and the $7 billion problem of oversight.
Yes.
But Xbox has started off and Xbox has had a good year, and I think it's very silly when I see people saying they're having a bad year. No, a bad year is if last year was a bad year where they didn't release a AAA game, but we still got expansions to some of their ongoing stuff, and they were still selling boxes and Game Pass gave you day one. There's something good there. It's not PlayStation top tier AAA good, but Xbox started this year by dropping Hi-Fi Rush, great video game, still a niche market, but great video game. Age of Empires console, great video game, niche market, but still great. They've got Minecraft Legends multi-platform, solid outing on that one. I enjoyed it, but I see where people would be. 7s, 8s is fair. Ghostwire Tokyo came to the platform. You got expansions for Sea of Thieves and Grounded. You got a new season of content that's well received in Halo. You had a very good year going. And Redfall is your first true black eye in terms of releases to come out. Nothing would have been cost by releasing this game at $30 and down the line. That would have been fine, because I guarantee you Redfall is not bringing anybody into Game Pass, and it's not selling boxes. No. But what you could have done is you could have had a timed 1-2 punch holiday release, and I think they have one more game for the holiday. But like, you could have had a bam, 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 Game Pass, everything there when you've got systems out, because right now they don't have systems available. So what was this for except Out to Die? And maybe Out to Die was the goal. Well, mission accomplished. But it's a shame, because there are a lot of people that put blood, sweat, and tears and love into Redfall, and it's not the product it needed to be. This is in every single category. It falls short of being great, and it's just okay. And when you have just okay across the board, it makes for a very meh experience, and I don't recommend it. I could not recommend it. I'm really glad Louis is liking it. I can see where people would like it. There is something there. Like, I do find myself wanting to play it a little bit, but it's not good. It's not good. And that sucks, because it damages Xbox when they needed wins.